Every person is spiritually conceived. It usually happens oftentimes when a person is 8, 9, 10, or 12 years old. They have a tendency to begin to wrestle with spiritual issues. And in this process, they begin to evaluate, where am I? Where is God in this process? I remember as a young boy, I would lay on my driveway and look at the stars and think, I didn't make this. There's a God. I know there's a God. I began to wrestle with, where does God fit into this process, and who is God, and how do I understand Him? And there's this natural process that happens, and in the human cycle, between conception and birth is a 9-month period. And birth is a very clear time. We don't have to wonder what birth is. But in this time of between conception and birth, there's life, there's development, there's growth, there's all this process. Spiritually speaking, the same thing happens. A person who's spiritually conceived, Romans 1 tells us that God has made Himself known so that all people are without excuse, that there is this process of kind of awakening and spiritual conception that happens for every single person. It's at least potential for every single person to be spiritually awakened and spiritually alive. But what happens in the process, a person who's conceived spiritually, they may begin to pray, they may read their Bible, they may go to church, they may begin to have spiritual devotions. There may be this whole process that goes on that is happening before they're even born. One of the biggest problems that we have is when a person is spiritually conceived, oftentimes we baptize them. Oftentimes we celebrate that something significant happened, when in reality they're just having that first initial contemplative time where they're beginning to think about it and become spiritually aware. When a person is born, there's something different than conception, in that the fruit of the Spirit usually begins to emerge. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, gentleness, self-control. In your notes, you'll begin to see how we talk about how to teach these elements there in your Gen 2 manual.